Volcanic eruptions are happening constantly across our little ball of rock, year after year. So this month, we're concentrating on some of the recent outpourings from deep beneath our feet. Chile's Puyehue-Cordon-Col volcano recently erupted, sending millions of tons of ash clouds high into the atmosphere, well above the weather that usually breaks up such plumes. We see it here on the second day of the eruption as the ash entered the jet stream, endangering high-flying commercial planes. With the help of the speedy winds up there, by June 13th, the plume had drifted halfway around the world and was seen in the skies of Australia and New Zealand. The Civil Aviation Authority of New Zealand warned pilots that the ash cloud was to be found between 20,000 and 35,000 feet, the cruising level for many aircraft. Flight traffic in parts of Australia and New Zealand were therefore canceled or diverted to lower altitudes. The animation shows the plume's evolution over a 48-hour period during the eruption's peak. Meanwhile, in the northeast African nation of Eritrea, a volcano named Nabro rumbled to life on the evening of June 12th. This event had been preceded by a series of earthquakes. The Volcano Ash Advisory Center in Toulouse, France, initially believed the eruption occurred at Dubby, a volcano further south. But later reports and satellite images such as these appear to confirm the eruption happened at Nabro, the first of its kind ever recorded at this site across many centuries of recorded history. The volcano is part of the East African Rift, a part of the African continent which is slowly tearing itself apart at the rate of several inches a year due to tectonic plate movements. A year after the Icelandic volcano Eyjafjallajökull released enough ash into the skies of Europe to ground most commercial planes, another volcano on the island began spewing ash and steam. On May 21st, Grímsvötn began to erupt, sending a plume of ash and steam about 12 miles into the atmosphere. Ash from Grímsvötn had colored the snow dark brown. Iceland's largest airport was subsequently closed as some areas turned dark as night in the middle of the day. The initial plume from Grímsvötn was higher than from Eyjafjallajökull, but nevertheless, the volcano wasn't expected to hamper transatlantic air traffic as much because Grímsvötn ash was forecast to travel toward the northeast, and the grains were coarser and less likely to remain airborne long enough to reach European airspace. The plume from Grímsvötn produced an intense lightning storm, which at its peak produced 1,000 times as many strikes per hour as Eyjafjallajökull had. A few months earlier, Shinmodak, a volcano on the Japanese island of Kyushu, erupted in spectacular fashion. Along with an unusually large amount of ash, fountains of incandescent lava rocks were released. The Tokyo Volcanic Ash Advisory Center reported ash up to an altitude of 15,000 feet. The resulting ashfall closed nearby highways and rail lines. This natural color satellite image shows ash streaming southeast from Shinmodak. The ash plume and thin clouds are both gray, while thicker clouds are white. Forested areas are dark green, urban and agricultural areas are brown. Finally, the Kasime volcano off the eastern coast of Russia near China released plumes of ash and steam in December 2010. The volcano sent a pale brownish plume toward the southwest, across the Kamchatka Peninsula and over the Sea of Okhotsk. The Kasime volcano has a steep sloped cone made up of alternating layers of hardened lava, solidified ash, and rocks. It's estimated to be about 12,000 years old and last had a major eruption just over 80 years ago. Join us next time for more news about Earth, brought to you by Starlight Express.